Today I want to help you make the best decision for your external storage. I've used just about every pre-built SSD brand and found them to be extremely user-friendly, durable, and ready to go at the point of purchase. For most people, these are a great option. But did you know that there is a fast and flexible way to build your own external SSD from an NVMe drive? Stay tuned. I'm about to break down the benefits of each to help you make the best choice. SSDs like the Crucial X10 Pro and the older X9 Pro are super popular for a reason. They are plug and play, they look sleek, and have great speeds. The X10 reaches 2,100 megabytes per second. You can get them in capacities of 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, or even 4 terabyte. They're small, reliable, and widely available online or at your local electronics store. They are also lightweight and durable. Very travel friendly and easy for me to carry with me whenever I go to tech conferences. I usually carry 2 to 4 drives for filming on my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K cameras. And I have dropped these little drives more times than I wish to count, and they keep on ticking. I also use one drive as my main working drive to organize all of my footage into a project folder and edit while I am traveling, to just keep everything nice and organized. Also, it makes it convenient to pass drives to my local editor so he can edit off of these directly since my file sizes are so big. And because these pre-built have a proven track record of being so durable, I'm never concerned about losing an entire video or 5 videos due to accidental drops that incidentally occur. So if pre-builts have their benefits, which in my opinion, they have many, then why would you recommend anyone build their own SSD? Well, you pay extra for that convenience and tested durability, as well as a little bit slower speeds. So speed for speed and capacity for capacity, the price will vary. You can often get more speed and more capacity by building your own. But then you have to take into account the cost of the enclosure, not just the cost of the drive itself. So we're gonna jump into all of this during this video. I just wanted to really get you up to speed on the options you have before you and really help you laser in on which one is best for you. If you wanna check the live pricing or availability of the Crucial X10 Pro or the Crucial P510, you can head down in the description below and click those links. If you do make a purchase, I'll get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. But of course, that's what keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. And you can have a lightning fast drive like the Crucial P510. This is a Gen 5 NVMe SSD, but stick it in a cheap, slow enclosure and totally kill your performance. First up, money. Sure, you could save a little bit of money, but this is not what I would focus on. Why? Because either can be affordable or expensive. You can choose the speed and capacity to fit your budget needs for either option. What I'm focusing on is the utility and performance benefits of each choice. I use pre-builts to handle all of my on-the-go work and even in office or on-camera storage. I find myself moving quickly while filming and I'm constantly dropping drives, so usability and durability are crucial. All pun intended. Now, once I have finished filming, I'll move the footage onto an editing drive or, my DIY drive plus enclosure. And this provides me with the higher editing speeds and quicker transfer speeds that I need to make my workflow quicker. And it's very, very valuable to have faster speeds that are available via these DIY built drives. Now, many pre-built external SSDs max out at around 2,000 megabytes per second, with some newer Thunderbolt 5 drives hitting 5,000 megabytes per second, but those are very expensive. But if you opt to build your own M.2 enclosure that supports NVMe over Thunderbolt or high-speed USB-C, you can easily see read and write speeds far above 5,000 megabytes per second. For instance, the Crucial P510 hits over 10,000 megabytes per second read and write speeds. But this is all dependent on the SSD you choose, matched with the right enclosure. This video was created in partnership with Crucial. I'm grateful to them for sponsoring this guide. So give them your love in the comment section. Let them know you're thankful. I could not keep this channel alive without incredible partners like Crucial. So those speeds make a huge difference in my workflow when working with large 4K and 6K files for video editing, big Photoshop documents, and even 3D modeling assets. Think about transferring a 50 gigabyte project folder in seconds instead of minutes. And for me, I do a lot of moving files around between drives. Pro tip, don't just look at speeds of the SSD. You could have a killer fast SSD, but choose a cheap enclosure and totally kill your transfer speeds. Plus, there's one element that is constantly overlooked, which I will cover in a moment. And this also kills your transfer speeds. But go to the comments right now and guess what people often overlook more than the enclosure that kills their drive speed. I think you'd be surprised. Next up is upgradability and swappability. If you buy a pre-built, you're basically locked into the capacity and drive space. So if you picked up a 1 terabyte drive initially, but realize in a year that you need 2 terabytes, you're out of luck to upgrade. You'd have to buy a whole new external SSD setup. On top of that, you could consider the fact that you actually only need to own 1 or maybe 2 enclosures that you could swap drives in and out of in order to have more drives, but save cost on these enclosures. For instance, this Thunderbolt 5 enclosure is about $280. So you can own a number of fast drives and then move them around in and out of 1 or 2 really fast enclosures rather than paying for a bunch of different enclosures or pre-built drives. Just a thought. See if that might work for your workflow. Now let's get real. The majority of my recording workflow relies on pre-built SSDs. They're reliable, durable, tested devices that provide a consistent out-of-the-box experience. If you don't care about saving 20 or 30 bucks, or if you just want to walk out of a store with something ready to go without any other action other than plugging it in, then they're a really good choice. And as I've mentioned, when using mine for filming, I'm constantly dropping them. So durability is super important to me in this context. Also, the ease of attaching them to my camera. Some enclosures are strictly designed to sit on your desk. And for me, that context would not work for my editing workflow. Also, if you're not comfortable with fiddling with M.2 drives and enclosures, or you just want the immediate plug and play, then the pre-builts can be a great option for you. By all means, go ahead and pick up a Crucial X10 Pro. But if you're a creator or you love customizing your setup, and especially if you are on a budget, then building your own external SSD is a fantastic choice. And as I've mentioned, I like to use both in my workflow. All right, let's go step by step. First of all, you want to choose the right NVMe drive, and that all depends on your price range. So try and balance speed with the space that you need. So 4,000 megabytes per second read, as well as 3,600 megabytes per second write. Inside of the $280 Thunderbolt 5 enclosure, transfers 145 gigabytes per second in 1 minute and 57 seconds. Now go ahead and move up to a 7,300 megabytes per second read and 7,000 megabytes per second write. In that same enclosure, 145 gigs takes 1 minute and 27 seconds. And then for the Mac Daddy P510 from Crucial, you can transfer in 43 seconds. That same file within that Thunderbolt 5 enclosure, very fast. So I'll be using the Crucial P510. This is Crucial's latest 2280 M.2 NVMe SSD. All right, now it's time to pick an enclosure. Now enclosures come in 2 main flavors or specifications. USB-C, often labeled USB 3.2, 3.1, 3.0, 10 gigabits per second, 20 gigabits per second, 40 gigabits per second, etc. Or there's Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt can go up to 80 gigabits per second with Thunderbolt 5. Thunderbolt 4 is 40 gigabits per second, okay? So this is just clarifying what you're buying when you buy an enclosure. Now, USB-C enclosures are cheaper, widely compatible, and often give you speeds of, say, 1,000 megabytes per second, 2,000 megabytes per second, depending on the chipset within the enclosure. Where Thunderbolt 5 and Thunderbolt 4 enclosures cost more, but if you have Thunderbolt 4 or Thunderbolt 5 ports on your laptop and you really want to push max speeds, that's the route that I would recommend that you go. Now, I've run speed tests on 3 different enclosures that I have here before me to show you the difference in performance of, say, a $22 enclosure at 10 gigabits per second, or gigabytes per second, bytes, bits, a $100 enclosure at 40 gigabytes per second, and a $280 enclosure at 80 gigabytes per second. Now, look for an enclosure that specifically says it supports NVMe M.2 PCIe, not just SATA-based M.2. And check the reviews for any mention of overheating or throttling. Some come with built-in heat sinks, thermal pads, or fans to dissipate the heat. Very helpful if you're doing heavy workloads. All right, now let's talk about the transfer speeds for that Crucial drive. For the $22, 10 gigabytes per second, that took 2 minutes and 9 seconds to transfer 145 gigs. For the $100, 40 gigabytes per second, it took 53 seconds. And for the $280, 80 gigabytes per second, it took 43 seconds. Overall, I would say the best bang for buck would be the $100, 40 gigabytes per second, that Thunderbolt 4 enclosure. Okay, now let's talk about the assembly. For this enclosure that I have before me, it is insanely easy. All you have to do is press the button and pop open the enclosure. Now, some enclosures might have screws or a notch that you have to pop open, but this one, you literally just press the button, open it up, slide the drive in, turn the little knob so it aligns up, lock it in place, and you're good to go. So now it's secure, ready to be plugged in and used. Now, once you plug it into your computer, you'll likely need to format it and then create a partition, whether you're on Windows or you're on Mac. Now, what I recommend choosing is XFAT for cross-platform usability. So whether you plug it into a Windows or a Mac, it will work on both. So you go ahead into the disk manager, right-click it, format it for exFAT or EXFAT, and then you go ahead and create a volume. So that will allow the drive to have items now saved to the drive. So a very simple process to go ahead and get it formatted, set up, ready to go. Now, what is the number one hidden factor that users overlook that kills speed? The cable. If you plug in a cheap USB cable that only supports 5 gigabytes per second, you won't get the full capabilities of the drive. So I'm going to use the cable from the $22 drive and plug it into the $280 enclosure to show you how much this can limit the performance. So I have my P510 within the $280 enclosure, and using the $22 cable, it transferred in 1 minute and 57 seconds. Now when I go ahead and use the included cable from the $280 enclosure, it transferred in 43 seconds, and that's the 145 gig project file. Enclosure and cable working together absolutely matters. Now, regardless of whether you use a pre-built or a DIY enclosure, remember that any drive can possibly fail. So keeping multiple backups if you're storing precious data, maybe one local backup on a spinning hard disk drive for archive plus cloud storage for extra safety is very important. I encourage people to never rely on a single external SSD as your sole backup. It's just prudent. I'm not saying that any drive is going to fail or that some drives are more reliable than others. I'm just saying it is really good to be prudent and back up your files. Now, some folks might say, I don't want to fuss with assembling, but as I demonstrated, it's literally a couple of screws or even a push button to go ahead and set up an external SSD. Is the performance really that much better? Absolutely, especially if you have Thunderbolt 4 or Thunderbolt 5 or advanced USB 3.2 chipsets within the enclosure. Somebody else might say pre-built SSDs are tiny and I like how sleek they look. And I totally get that. But did you know that they actually make smaller M.2 form factors, such as the P310 and a 2230 form factor? I placed mine within a super cool enclosure with a mount that can attach directly to my camera. So there are other options available for size, but if you want the speed, you definitely want to consider something like the P510. Now, enclosures aren't as durable as pre-built. In most regards, this is true. For instance, the X10 Pro was built for on-the-go workloads, so durability is a top concern within their design process. Now, I'd lean you towards a pre-built if that is a high concern. However, there are some really nice enclosures that have rubberized shock protection, and so that could be a great option to you for getting the best of both worlds if you're looking to still do a pre-built but lean into that durability option. Ultimately, it comes down to the priorities that you have. If convenience trumps everything else, then the X10 Pro or the X9 Pro might be a great one for you. But if you want to have customization, if you're looking for like the ultimate customization for bang for buck or ultimate performance, then the freedom to build your own is a great way to go. So there you have it, everything you need to make the right choice for your needs. Pre-built and M.2 drives within an enclosure offer fantastic flexibility for every type of user. Personally, I love the speed of my custom-built Crucial P510 enclosure. But on the go, I rely on the durability of my pre-built X10 Pros. Click here if you want to see how I store hundreds of terabytes of data over the past 7 years. I think it'd be really valuable for you and super helpful in making some of these decisions. And of course, links are in the description below if you want to check the live pricing or availability and make a purchase of the P510 or the X10 Pros. I'll see you in the next video.